A big hello and a warm welcome to all of you amazing and beautiful people out there. Welcome to my channel. In this channeling session, I would be talking about the runner twin flame who is feeling guilty for rejecting the chaser. However, he is feeling guilty because he now feels that the chaser was in love with him, was committed to him, not the other person he chose or anything else he chose over her. There's no love and there's no commitment, there is no understanding, there is no joy in the things he chose, the choices he made as opposed to her. So he is now feeling really guilty. Now it is mostly the divine masculine is the runner, and this particular energy is for everyone. It matches with almost everyone who's in this journey, no matter what type of sexuality you have. So basically the runner is going through awakening right now, and while going through the awakening, the runner is able to put the puzzle together, all the pieces of the puzzle together. Those who resonate with it, this is definitely for those people who have been in this journey for many years, in this emotion or this fear or this feeling or whatever you want to call it. It's over a decade. Now this role of runner can be played by the female also, as in the female gender also. So in both cases, he or she felt that they spent all these years thinking and actually believing and assuming that the chaser did not love them back. Yes. So all of you people who are divine feminines, who are online and who are doing the research work, probably some of you are listening to the channeling, some of you are watching some videos or some movies, or some of you are going through therapies, some of you are getting readings, some of you are getting counsel. That's because you are the divine feminine and you are basically researching about what has happened to you. But on the other side, for the runner, and it's better you don't contact the runner to tell them all of this, because they'll find it absurd and this will only delay the journey. But how they actually come to this conclusion on their own, not by other people helping them out. They figure it out on their own because one fine day they have this awakening or they have this epiphany or something happens that they are forced to understand or know or believe that the person, their person, after all these years, so it's actually the timing that hits them on the face, because they have always pretty much been a lot about the timing. So all those divine masculines, I think, who spoke about the timing a lot, that I spent 3 months chasing you, or I've spent 3 months trying to convince you to meet me for a date, or 6 months or 1 year or 2 years. So those are the people, for them even 1 day or 1 week is, time, important time for them. Here in this case, say the divine masculine feels or the runner feels that they have ran away. Obviously they don't know these terminologies. They just feel that they feel the same way, or they feel the same amount of love, or maybe more, even after all these years. Like a decade has passed, 11 years, 12 years have passed, and I still love this person. What's happening? Like, what's wrong? Or what's right about it? So say after all these years, they realize that despite all their efforts to move on from the twin flame, move on from the feminine, move on from the chaser, they are still in love with this person. And all the people who came in between, even if they spend a good amount of time with them, it was never what they really had experienced, and they would keep going back to the same person. Like every time a relationship would end, or every time maybe some karmic template would get healed or released, or some curse would get released or healed, something they would learn, they would overcome some kind of a fear. They realize that they're still thinking about this person, and how is that possible? Because they probably did question the chaser. When the chaser said that I love you and I am deeply committed to you and you're the only person who matters to me, they were like, oh, this is unbelievable. How can this person speak this way? So now this person, the runner, is feeling that they have gone through a lot of pain and despair, and they've cried a lot, and some of them were married, some of them were not married, But those who were married, in this particular energy, they are getting divorced or they're getting separated, and it has nothing to do with whatever things he told the chaser about, the twin flame about, feminine about. But then they feel very strongly that the influence of the chaser was so strong on them that they could never really either love fully another person, or they just felt that whosoever they chose was only realizing, making them realize or reminding them more about this connection. So it was like they went through their whole runner-chaser dynamic despite not being with this person. So now it's like going back to that person, going back to the chaser, because they've done everything they could have. And how come, someone they met, say, 12 years back or 11 years back, and maybe, kept in touch in between, there was some communication after a huge amount of gap, or whatever their trajectory was, they felt that, this runner actually was waiting for the chaser to make a move or call them up or send a message, but they never called or they never messaged. And this is again specifically for those people who stopped chasing and they did not care how many years or how long will it take. It's a very strong place to be in, very bold decision to make, because actually they might not call you or contact you for say 10 years. Would you be ready for that? So the chaser here is a very strong, resilient energy and probably has found out many things to do. They are very busy with themselves. They probably won't even realize how all of this time has passed by. They could be doing some wonderful things in life. And on the other hand, whatever mistakes the runner made, the choices, maybe the marriage or maybe the relationship or maybe the business deal or maybe whatever they were into, they're going to end it. They want to end it. They've already processed the ending or the separation, because they feel that the chaser is not going to call them up anymore, not going to come back. It's just not going to happen. Only they have to make a move, and only they have to tell them that they will realize those places where they ran away, and they are in the process of realizing. So in this case, the runner is actually, who was assuming that the chaser is supposed to call them up or chaser is supposed to contact them, has a series of conversation or goes through certain turbulent times where he realizes that when one person clearly ignores you, does not pick your call, does not answer you, and I don't know, 10 years back probably telephony was not the same as today, 12 years back it wasn't the same. Maybe they see each other on WhatsApp or they see each other somewhere, I don't know. But whatever it is, the runner was thinking that the chaser should get back to them. It's only when they realize the insults and the humiliation they had thrown at them, because the same humiliation and insult is thrown towards them. And the same type of behavior is given to them from a person. From a person who they really gave a lot to. So it sort of makes them reminisce, and it sort of makes them connect back to those times when they ignored or they blocked or they rejected or they did all of those mean things towards the chaser. They threw it towards the chaser, and still they were expecting the chaser to call them or contact them. So this is the big mistake. They realized the big mistake, that it was me who made them go away. It was my actions, it was my bad behavior, and also maybe verbally also I told them that, hey, do not call me, do not contact me, don't message me, I don't want to do anything with you, just get the fuck out, just get out of my life, just get lost. Don't you have any self-respect? Don't you have any life of your own? Don't you have any shame? I don't want to talk to you, but you're still calling me. Or they would just simply look at all the messages and all the calls and the missed calls, and it would keep piling. If in case they were writing letters or emails, they would keep seeing the emails, but they will not respond to it. And they realized that they only gave a very strong message. And obviously, if any self-respecting human being goes through this type of experience, this kind of humiliation, this kind of abandonment, this type of ghosting or ignoring, vanishing, and suddenly getting married to someone else, they would never want to call you back or message you back. The runner has basically been running from the triggers and the traumatic energy or the experience that were caused by the triggers. So When a trigger happened, there were arguments, there were things being said from both sides. Maybe the feminine or the chaser wasn't even that mean, but it was their own imagination of rejection which would come via the trigger, that they would assume a whole lot and they would think that this person really does not love me. It's obviously absurd. If you ask the chaser would say, well, how the hell should I tell them that I love them? Because I probably did everything that any sane person would do to show them that I love them. Like if I'm saying I love you, if I'm confessing, or if I am doing this or doing that, what else am I supposed to do? But this person chooses a completely different person, does not even tell me about it, I'm not even aware about it, and then they don't talk to me. And like, imagine you're married to someone and the chaser can see that the runner is married to someone. Like, why would the chaser still contact them or call them up? Especially after they've gone through all the confessions, or maybe in some cases, sacral energy exchange and things like that. So these are the things that are now being experienced or understood, and it's like, it's striking it to them, the runners, that okay, we are the reason of this long separation actually. Like an individual would say, okay, I am the person who caused this, and they probably love me for real. So this type of stupidity, and again, they feel bad about the time, but they are now also more awakened individuals, so they don't see time and age as the same concept as they used to see earlier. Earlier, they also had many societal fears. They would think that, oh, if I don't do this by this age, my life is doomed, because this is what they have been hearing. If I don't get married at the right time, who's gonna marry me? Or, looking at the chaser, looking at the feminine, they would be like, is she even the right person for me? Like, they were probably embarrassed to actually hang out with her. And in all these years, they actually learned that the people that they have hung out with were far more embarrassing in their opinion, who put them through so much torture and trauma and emotional upheaval. Whereas the person on the other side, the chaser, is living a very dignified life, a very decent life, and anyone would want to associate with them. So what the hell was I thinking? What was wrong with me? I was the one judging other people. I'm supposed to be the one who should be judged for making all these wrong decisions, being so immature. Because on one hand, the runners were talking about a free world, changing things, doing this, doing that, leading by example. But when it came to their own, they were simply not able to break the norms of the society. So there is a deep realization where the runner is feeling that the chaser did not hurt them intentionally, they did not knowingly do it to them, they did not knowingly put them through all the triggers. It's the triggers that actually create a lot of upheaval, not the chaser specifically. So this person obviously also did not realize that all their problems and all their triggers are actually stemming from their own childhood. It's only when they go through it, because they're supposed to go through or to have a taste of a practical experience of all of this, when they go through all of this and they try to heal themselves, they try to work it out, they're able to connect all the dots possible, and they're able to understand and they're able to figure it out. That these were the reasons that were causing fear and turmoil in me, not the chaser. They have started imagining, at least now, that the chaser would forgive them, because a lot of these years they also had this pain and this trauma that the chaser is not going to forgive them, because technically they've been gone too long, and they don't know how to fix it, they don't know how to deal with it. But they know that when they were pushing them away, or when they were trying all these things out, all the other things out, it was purely because they didn't want to get hurt, or they didn't really know. Like, of course, some of them would be like, it was all my fault. Some of them would be like that. And those are probably going to heal faster, because it's very important for the runners also to know that their role in the separation was equally strong and important. And they should stop blaming the chaser now, because it is very important that the chaser is also gone away from their scheme of things, because earlier they were looking at the chaser as the reason for all their misery. Anything would go wrong, they would point the fingers at this person, that it's all because of you, it's all because of you that I'm in this, it's all because of you that my blood pressure is so high, it's all because of you that I'm aging so fast, it's all because of you that I have grey hair now, it's all because of you that I am fat, it's all because of you that I'm broke, it's all because of you. Maybe all those things, being ugly, being fat, being broke, being old, these are not even true things. These are all probably illusions, or these are all again fears of, swimming against the tide of time, because they're probably trying to do that also. However, they do realize that all of those have not really led to anything. In fact, they're still miserable, they're still suffering, and they don't even have the chaser to point the fingers at. So they try to understand the position of chaser after and before they met each other. So now they are going back to the time before meeting the chaser. So they realize that the wounds and the pain was there present even before the chaser came into their life. So now this particular practical understanding is coming to them, because they are suffering any which way. So they are clearly saying that I cannot think that this person caused everything. It could be my mother, it could be my father, the way I was raised, the school I went to, the things I was taught, my childhood traumas, the person who bullied me, or maybe I was raised with too much, overbearing love. I became a narcissistic person, when they try to figure it out. So in this energy, of course, the runner is feeling very guilty. But the second part, the important part, is that they realize that the chaser was actually committed to them and actually truly in love with them. That is a very important place to be in too. So thank you so much for being here with me. One love and peace out.